Hi guys, I get so tired of these media outlets trying to show the worst of Trump. And of course, they try to paint Kamala Harris somehow as presidential at the same time. But that's a whole other video. Now, to be fair, Trump, as the most investigated man on earth, has offered up some material. But in general, it's a case of fanatical misinformation and half-truths created by political opponents in unison with the desperate mainstream media and its surrogates. Trump is known by many, however, to be a charismatic, humorous and indeed sentimental guy. So today we put together a few clips that portray the full spectrum of Trump, from funny to tough to family man and more. If anything, it's a nice bit of reminiscing to those of us who have followed his journey, and maybe even an eye-opener that gets a few people thinking what the media is playing at in trying to destroy this man. Okay guys, and if you're a hater, a never Trumper, try and keep an open mind. Here we go, some touching moments with President 45 and soon to be 47. Let's start off with a touching story from 2016 on the gravely ill Melissa Young.
With an incurable illness, and I'm on home care now. It was caused by a doctor's medical negligence, and in those dark days, fighting, right now all the tubes have been removed, and I have a do not resuscitate order, and I have a 7-year-old son. And in those days, in the hospital, I received from you a handwritten letter that said, "To the bravest woman I know." And
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
you,
Such a wonderful, beautiful woman. I mean, just an amazing woman. And are you coming along okay?
no, sir, but that's okay, because I'm here right now to thank you in person, and that was my biggest.
I'm sorry, I have to go down and say hello. Is that okay?
Thank you.
Well, that doesn't play to the media view on Trump, and somehow some people would say it was staged, but decent folks should certainly feel the sincerity from both sides and how heartwarming yet sad this story was. Now let's take a look at how he is with kids. Quite a natural, I'd say.
Now, he's supposed to look like Donald Trump, but he's actually much too good looking. You are really handsome. Where's your daddy? And your mommy, right? Do you want to go back? Do you want to go back to them, or do you want to stay with Donald Trump?
Jump.
It's natural that he makes it look easy. Now I had to throw in a comparison with Joe Biden. Check this out, guys.
The VP knows he's on camera at these swearing-in ceremonies, and the parents are right there as he leans in for a kiss.
Please, God, let me just sniff his hat. Let me just sniff his hat. That's all I want. Now I want more.
You gotta love Family Guy, and how fitting that clip was. I simply couldn't resist it. So let's see what philosophical words Kamala Harris has to offer on the topic of children.
You know, when we talk about our children, I know for this group, we all believe that when we talk about the children of the community, they are children of the community. And in that way, we should all feel a direct sense of responsibility.
Profound words indeed. But let's get back to the man himself, this time around the sad passing of Corey Compton, who was killed while shielding his family from the bullets of an assassin at a Trump rally in Pennsylvania.
He was a highly respected former fire chief, respected by everybody. Was accompanied by his wife, Helen, incredible woman. I spoke to her today, devastated, and 2 precious daughters. He lost his life selflessly acting as a human shield to protect them from flying bullets. He went right over the top of them and was hit. What a fine man he was.
An incredibly moving moment, and respect to Trump and his team, who engaged closely with Corey's family to help and support them through this completely avoidable tragedy. Let's change it up to something a little more lighter, and just another day as a grandfather for Donald Trump. You have to give him credit. He has raised fine children. Even Hillary Clinton made comment on this, and make of it what you will. It's indicative of him as a man. Now this next one is not a Trump video as such, but it's a great story told on how he handled business with our foes, this time the Taliban. Note guys, it's in stark contrast to the Democrats, whom left billions in equipment and the bodies of US soldiers in Kabul during a botched withdrawal.
It's President Trump and Mike Pompeo, and they are talking to Taliban leadership, and they had one translator in the room. President Trump looked at the Taliban leader and said this: "I want to leave Afghanistan, but it's going to be a conditions-based withdrawal." And translator translated. And he said, if you harm a hair on a single American, I'm going to kill you. And the translator goes, and Trump goes, tell him.
Yes.
Tell him what I said. Tell him what I said. Reached in his pocket, pulled out a satellite photo of the leader of the Taliban's home and handed it to him.
Shut up.
Got up and walked out the room.
I really love that story, and it gives a great insight into Trump and how he operates. We all know Trump was great on the international stage with world leaders. He was strong, respected, but a natural, and he got things done. He brought back jobs, he brought back investment, and as we all know, no new wars. Clearly a natural leader and charismatic yet strong. As I always say, love him or hate him, Trump loves this country and will always do his best for it. Clearly that entails coming under fire from the corrupt press, corrupt New York courts, Hollywood, and so many others. All this whilst putting all he has at risk, including his very own life. Trump's a fighter. He fights for a great America and I believe a better world. He deserves a lot more respect than the media gives him. Actually, the public deserve more respect than the media gives them with the BS they feed us. We'll close this episode out with this thought. A fighter knows a fighter. So here's one from the UFC and Kevin Holland, and I'll see you all for the next one. Take care, guys.